I'm here with Masha Rossman, owner of Business Broker Services. How are you, Masha?
Well, I think I'm doing all right considering, it's not the easiest being quarantined,
There you go. I
but
hear
we're
you.
doing the best we can.
Good. All right, let's ask some questions about your business. What does your business do?
My business does several different things. It primarily is a business broker service, a business broker office featuring the sale of business, small businesses with a separate branch that does mergers and acquisitions. Those are larger size businesses. And I personally provide certified business appraisals for different areas for buyers who are looking to buy the business. They want the price. The seller wants to know what the market value will be. I do it for probate, to probate an estate that has a business, divorce, insurance purposes, and for banks, SBA loans. So it has several components, and I teach a course how to buy that existing business to downsize execs.
Now, of all that, what programs or services do you specifically offer?
Well, currently at this time of my life, I specifically do certified business appraisals, but I oversee all the deals going through the office. Okay, let's say somebody comes in with a small business, small meaning according to the SBA, it could be anything under $10 million gross. But let's say it's a $500,000 gross, $1 million gross, and a broker's working on it. So we take a look at the business and we put together a value. It's not a certified business appraisal, but with our skills, we know what the marketplace will get for that business. So we put it together in about a 40-page profile for the seller, so we can review with them and help them with their expectations. Because everybody wants $1 million for their business, but what will the real buyer be able to pay for it? That's one of the things we do. Once we have an agreement with the buyer and the seller, we have marketed the business, and we know how to market the business to the type of buyer that would probably qualify to buy it. Meaning, we we know the marketplace, so we're not going to take a $500,000 grossing business and market in very expensive, high caliber ads for those type of merger and acquisition buyers. We have a major database of about 8,000 names of accountants and attorneys, buyers that we can do an email merge right away and all. So we have put it together. And then we have to coordinate sale, and that's the really intricate part of it, because now you have attorneys doing a purchase and sale agreement, you have a buyer seeking financing from a bank. So there's a lot of coordination, insurance, you have to get insurance. If it's a liquor license, the liquor license has to be transferred. The landlord has to have knowledge of the whole thing. So that's where the meat and potatoes of the work comes in to get it to the closing table. And that seems to be a good skill of ours.
Now, how long have you been in business?
I usually tell people 3 decades, and now they have to start counting, and it's really true. I just always wanted to be in business ever since a young child. I wanted my own business, and somehow, in my, I had 3 children. We were from the generation that came very young, and then eventually I told my husband I wanted to buy a fitness center. There were no fitness centers in Massachusetts at the time. I had heard of them. So fast forward, we bought one, a franchise, and everything I ever needed to learn about being in business was from that first franchise. Once I got it out of almost bankruptcy, I went on to buy and sell about 5 of them myself. And then everybody else wanted me to sell theirs, and then somebody wanted me to sell a liquor store, and now business broker services became alive.
That's a great story. Great
And
story.
it's
Now,
growth. It's just all growth and keeping up with it and learning.
now, what type of clients do you have now?
The particular clients we have now, some of my brokers, somebody's working on a bakery, cakery type business, coffee shop that she put together about 10 years ago. And we were in the middle of working with a buyer when all this happened. We're working, some of my brokers are working with people with spas, day spas for women. I personally am working with a company that grosses about $4 million. They do mechanical, um, engineering work and things like that. So we do a variety of businesses. In my early days, I did specialize in fitness centers, of which I probably sold 100 in the 20-year period. But um, all the migration came along. But when you take certified business appraisal courses, most businesses have the same elements. So you're looking to appraise the same type of thing. You're doing industry research. So that's why we're capable of selling different types of businesses from all industries.
Now, who are your ideal clients?
Well, there's a lot of different ones. You love the ones that come in desperate. I need help. I need help. Okay, we're here to help you. And the ones that pay attention. So, an ideal customer for any one of our approaches, either the small business, the larger businesses, is cooperation. This is what we need to do to be helpful to you. Sometimes by the time we've done an appraisal on a business, I tell the seller, you don't even want to sell it. This is what you need to do. So now you're into another area of education and you're working with them how to make it better. So hopefully 2, 3, 4 years down the road, they will be able to sell it for the right value. Um, so those are ideal customers. They have to really be on our team with us, work with us, so that we can keep moving forward. I am very success oriented. You have to keep up with us. You have to do it and make it work. And it works. 30 years, it works.
It does work.
It does work. It just, you have to move ahead. And even now, the phone calls I'm getting from people are sad, disheartened. They worked hard and businesses just aren't doing it. Well, too bad. We're going to move ahead. This is what you're going to do while you're sitting home and keep it going. We got to keep going. So that's what they have to listen to. And luckily, the people who work with me think like that. So they're very helpful.
Now, I'm sure you have lots of stories. What is your most rewarding client
Oh,
moment or issue solved?
well, I have a million stories. I don't know if you want which ones you want, but one of the stories I'd like to tell, so that kind of is the same thing that happened early as life went on. I started teaching my courses how to buy that existing business in '91 when we also had a downturn in the economy and banks weren't happy and doing well with us and all of that. So came to that course. I had taught it at two colleges, one at Salem State and one at Stonehill. Subsequently, I've had to take it private because people were calling me and I signed something at the colleges. I wasn't looking for business, which I wasn't. I'm an educator. So this couple took my course, Marge and Rich. And Rich had just been laid off. So we're going back to the early 90s. And they were very sad. And his experience that he had, his qualifications, he was unable to find work and get paid what he needed. His accountant said, well, why don't you look into buying a business? So that's how the whole thing started. I do want to slip in that sometimes when I finish a course, a student will say, oh, I don't want to ever buy a business because it's what's inside the 4-week program that helps them to understand what it's really like. So Rich and Marge, after the course, they wanted to buy a business, and I suggested they work with other people because, again, I always hope I'm not soliciting business. But a few months later, they came back to me and said it wasn't working for them. So one of my skills, good skills, is matchmaker, because you really have to talk to them and find out what business you know of will match them. People will come in the office and ask for an auto rental that we have for sale, but yet they worked in a restaurant. So now we have to try to help them out. But Rich had a lot of skills in computer, which back in the early 90s, none of us had. And I was able to introduce him to a woman that had started a medical billing company. And she did want to sell it. She had to, she was getting a divorce. Right away, Rich knew everything about it and the excitement in him. It just all came together. Nothing comes together easy because we had to get attorneys and P&Ss, and we had to go to accountants for look at the P&Ls, and we had to get the financing. But the reason I'm telling you the story is 25 years later, Rich and Marge still own the business. They moved it from the north to the south. They're living in Florida, and they do medical building, and the business has grown to where they can handle it. Okay, $500,000 a year. So that's one of the successes. But I have a lot of those.
Cool.
I have a lot, and I have gory stories and all kinds of things. But
Now, what makes your business unique?
I think it's the servicing, the caring. When people come in, they have problems. Something's wrong, and you have to find out what is wrong. It's not just, will you sell my business? Well, why do you want us to sell your business? We'll be happy to sell it. We're not just looking for commission. We want to understand what the problems are. I think it's the loyalty to the deal, staying on top of it. And I always say my best skill is I was a middle child, so I always had to be coordinating everything. So that's where my personal skills come from. I just got involved to do a certified business appraisal on a deal that was supposed to close the end of last November. It was never coordinated, anything. Everybody was mad at each other, upset. And I was called in to do an appraisal for the SBA loan, but also to help coordinate it. And guess what? 2 weeks later, it's going to close next week. So it's how you coordinate it. I don't know how else to explain it. You just have to do it.
Now, how can people learn more about you?
Well, the easiest way to learn about me is just Google me, Marcia, M-A-R-C-I-A, Rossman, R-O-S-M-A-N. You can go to my website, www.businessbrokerservices.com. You can text me, 781-799-5651. You can call the office, 781-380-3737. And there you'll find us. And today we're all trying to be helpful. We're all available. Everyone's available.
Now, you have any final thoughts?
Well, final thoughts, probably the thoughts are what's going to happen to us all. We're all going to stay in business. I had to sell my life insurance once to stay in business with that first fitness center. You do whatever you have to do. But my kids wanted to know if I rebuilt the life insurance, and yes, I have, because that was 25 years, 30 years ago. So we can't just be sad. It's so easy to be depressed and sad and say all our hard work. Just start marketing. Do everything you can. I watch all the programs that are coming online here, and I see they're telling you keep networking, keep sending things out. If you have a business that can sell gift certificates, I'm not saying to overdo it, but get started slowly. You have to talk to your landlord, you have to talk to your bank, you have to talk to everybody and say, I'm not leaving. I'm going to do this. I just need us all to work together. And if you've had a good relationship with them, paid your rent, that did everything, they're going to try their best. They will, because they have no choice.
You are so right. Well, Marcia, it's been a pleasure interviewing. Best of luck with your business.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm just experienced. That's all. That's all it takes, the credit. It's been there, seen it, done it over and over. Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
For more information on Marcia and her company, please visit Business Broker Services at businessbrokerservices.com. There you'll find information about the company, and you want to give them a call them at 781 380 3737.